The resolution of the Law and Justice Party in defence of St John Paul II was accompanied by excerpts from a draft prepared by the PSL. Earlier in the session of the Parliamentary Committee on Culture and Mass Media, both drafts were discussed. This attack on St John Paul II has two features. It is an attack that is extremely aggressive and extremely deceitful at the same time. Two features that are very common in the technologies of modern manipulation, unfortunately. The discussion goes beyond just reportage or discussion of reportage. It is already about the entire legacy of St John Paul II. My club will not participate in the work on these drafts, which is why I have mentioned with regret Mr. Kosiniak Kamish, we will not be submitting amendments. A statement of the claims contained in the TVN24 report was issued by the chairman of the Polish Bishops' Conference, Archbishop Stanisław Gondecki, Metropolitan of Poznan. Defending the sanctity and greatness of John Paul II does not mean, of course, claiming that he could not make mistakes. Being the shepherd of the Church at a time of the division of Europe into West and the Soviet bloc meant having to face daunting challenges. One should also be aware that at the time, not only in Poland, laws were very different from today. Social consciousness and customary ways of solving problems were different. On Monday, TVN aired a report in which the authors, citing accounts of priests who collaborated with the communist security police, claimed that Karol Wojtyla, while still as Metropolitan of Krakow, had covered up paedophilia among the clergy. The video showed a priest who engaged in paedophilic activities, whom Cardinal Wojtyla, as Archbishop of Krakow, transferred to another diocese. He handed him over, as it were, to the bishop of that priest, who was incardinated, that is, belonged to the diocese of Lubachov, and according to the Code of Canon Law, only his bishop can inflict punishment on such a priest. In addition, a book by Dutch journalist Eck Overbeek entitled Maxima Culpa, John Paul II Knew. The book duplicates the claims made in the TVN report. The author wrote the book Fear in 2013, in which the victims of paedophilia priests spoke out. Among them was Marek Lisinski, who claimed to be a victim of a paedophile priest, but years later turned out to be a fraud. This is a man who has already shown repeatedly that he is incapable of studying documents. He does not know how to deal with them. He does not have the tools of a historian. He does not have the basic elementary knowledge that ensures such honest scientific research. And a fundamental thing, all these books, reports, articles are written with a view, a preconceived view. This is not the first attempt to discredit the Pope. In 1983, the Security Service planted prepared materials at the apartment of Father Andrzej Bardecki, a friend of the Pope, to prove an alleged affair between Karol Wojtyla and Irena Kinaszewska. The whole plot backfired for various reasons, but the principle was exactly the same: plant-crafted, unreliable, hypocritical materials in order to strip the authority and credibility of the figure of Karol Wojtyla, John Paul II. Today we are dealing with the same thing. The TVN TV report has become fuel for extreme circles that accuse St John Paul II of literally everything. The fact that a Pole is poor, the fact that a Pole has to emigrate, the fact that a Pole has no freedom of speech, the fact that a Pole has no freedom of religion, the fact that all over the place is the Church, pushing its paws into every area of life. This is the aftermath of the myth of John Paul II. It's simply not even about madness anymore, and it's not about figuring out how it was. It's a bit like Father Riddick's Maybach. Everyone knows it was a Linden, but somehow it's not a problem for anyone to repeat it. The TVN television report also made accusations against Cardinal Adam Sapea. The authors, using the testimony of two priests, one of whom was an agent of the communist security forces, accused the clergyman of molesting seminarians. Even the security office did not treat this testimony credibly and never used it.